everyone, I am Priya Mishra and I welcome you to this week's immigration show. First in the show, we'll give you the visa bulletin for May 2011. After that, Mr. Suresh Dalal will answer your questions. As you know, Mr. Dalal is a member of New Jersey Bar and has been practicing in our state for over 30 years. Welcome, Mr. Dalal.
Thank you.
Please give us the visa bulletin.
First I talked about the family category, then I talked employment category. First category is the citizen children over 21, it's May 1st, 2004. F2A category is the permanent residents, spouse and children under 21 is 8 June 2007. There was a movement about 2 months. F2B category is the permanent resident children over 21. Of course, I'm married, it's 15 April 2003, don't move at all. F3 category is the married children of citizens, is May 1st, 2001. It is moved from March 15th. And brother and sister is 8th March 2000. So they are all moving very slowly. And first category, the employment category now. First category is current men of exceptional ability. Second category is who have masters and PhD, and priority date is July 1, 2006 current. Third category is skilled worker category is 15th April 2002. There is a movement about 7 days only. Other work unskilled category is April 15, 2002. All other categories are current.
Anything new happening with immigration?
No.
Nothing.
No.
So then let's get started with our letters for today. First, that is from Satish Shrivastava, and he writes to us from Indianapolis. I have been watching your show on TV Asia with great interest. It is very informative and highlights on different problems faced in the process of immigration to USA. I am citing my case below for your guidance. I am a US citizen and have applied for the immigration of my son, aged 31, living in India under F1 category, unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens. The priority date in his case is 1st June 2006. He was asked to submit birth certificate, police report, etc. during last year, which was submitted in November 2010. Since then, nothing is heard in this matter. I am 68 years old and seeking retirement and need my son to unite with me here soon. Please suggest what can be done in gearing up for this case.
You know what happened? Unfortunately, the date regressed. And now they are processing the which was filed in May 2004. So, sir, you may have to wait about 2 years before your son can come here, and he should remain unmarried during that time. It was very good, the thing was moving very fast, but it's gone backward now. And people are wondering why it went backward. There are so many reasons, but now that you have to wait. There is nothing we can do, and nobody can do anything for this case.
Okay, so don't get married and just wait till the date gets
Visa becomes current.
Okay. Next letter is from Gopi Asudani. He says, I have been watching your program on immigration since last 3 years. I find the program not only very interesting but also very helpful. Actually, I have been waiting for the appropriate time to give you trouble to answer my problem. I have green card since January 2001. I have been coming to USA either every year or within the time period of the entry permit. Lastly, I came to USA in August 2007 and left for India in September 2007 after applying for re-entry permit. I was granted re-entry permit from April 2008 to April 2009. Thereafter, I thought of becoming a US citizen. I came to USA in July 2008, that is 6 months before 1 year. I stayed here in USA up to May 2009 and went back to India. However, I returned back to USA in November 2009 before 6 months. I left USA in October 2010 and arrived back on 5th April 2011. He had planned to come early, but his wife was in a hospital and whatever, so he came back April 5th, 2011. Thus, we were absent from USA from October 6 to April 4, 2011, which I presume is less than 6 months period to qualify for continuous stay in USA. I would like to know as follows. The period of absence from 6th October to 4th April 2011 will be counted as continuous stays at USA as being period less than 6 months or not. Second question is, when will I be entitled to apply for citizenship? 4 years and 1 day from 24th August 2007 or 4 years and 1 day from 16th July 2008 or 5 years from July 16, 2008?
The question is, I looked up everything. I did not have a time to calculate all the dates and everything. But she says October to April is not less, it's not 6 months, it's more than 6 months. October, November, December, 3 months, and January, February, March, April is more than 7 months. It's 7 months. It's not 6 months. So calculation is wrong.
But April first week they were here, so we don't know what date they left in
But that's
October.
why April first week. But if you put it, if you April, I think 11 October something, I think it's more than 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose by chance you may be overstayed by 3, 4 days or 10 days or 15 days. If you have good excuse, it will be counted, not counted that you are absent more than 6 months. The question is very important. That you were here previously, you stayed here. And the last time when you came here in the United States, and from that day, if you have not stayed more than out 6 months, you will be qualified to apply in the 4 years and 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do it 5 years because you were coming here, staying here previously. So all the dates are there. I did not have time to go through each and every date you mentioned. But 4 days and 1 year is a very complete picture you have. You last 4 years and 1 day. You have to complete 2.5 years. Total time 30 months, 1.5 years, then you can apply. So you calculate whether you continue 7 months. One time you were out within 3-4 days. It all depends upon the immigration officer. If you can convince him that sir, for some reason or other. But taking everything in your account, discretion should not be exercised in your case because you are not staying here. You are taking on re-entry permit everything. And probably any immigration officer won't have a discretion to grant you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason or other, in the last 5 years, you stay here for completely for more than 30-40 months, and unfortunately for some time you have to go to India, and because of certain things you can't do it. You can do it within 4 years and 9 months, or you can do it 4 years and 1 day. But if you are regularly staying for some time and going to India and using re-entry permit, I don't think immigration officer will exercise discretion in your case. Also, you have to prove that you have no intention to abandon your residence.
Mm-hmm.
Green card is not given for purpose of staying in India and coming here. You have to make up your mind whether you want to stay here or not. Yes, complete 5 years, finish this year, then have a citizenship and you can stay in India permanently. Nobody is going to bother you. But you have to do that one. You can't come here, re-entry permit, go back, and after some time, okay, after 3-4 years you change your mind, no, I want to stay in India, you have a problem.
Okay, so Mr. Gopi, I hope that answers your questions. With that, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Is the greatest statement of the ego ever.
Immigration Show on TV Asia. Our next letter is from Jignesh Agarwal, and he writes to us from Houston, Texas. We watch your show every week. We have Dish Network. Your service to the community is extraordinary and praiseworthy. We are thankful to you. I have a complicated question and hope to hear from you soon. My first marriage took place in September 1991. We had a son in February 1993. We got divorced in May 1995. I came to USA on visitor visa end of May after the divorce. I got married second time to a US citizen. On April 1997, I stayed with my second wife for 6 years, got legal status through her, and got divorced on October 2003 because of her bad habits. I became a US citizen in 2008. Meanwhile, I came to know that my first wife had come on visitor visa with my son in 1997. So I filed for my son in 2004, and now he has a green card since 2008 as I am his biological father. During this process, I came in contact with my first wife who is Indian and never married second time. So I want to marry her again and help her get the legal status in USA. We have been separated for the last 15 years. My question is there any problem marrying with the first wife? Is there any legal matter which would prevent me from doing so? Or she should wait till her son becomes citizen in 2014 and try to get her status through her son. Thanks in advance.
On this type of case, when it comes before immigration officer, they look from every different angle to decide whether the second marriage was a fraudulent marriage. and you only divorce your wife for a convenience because you wanted to marry a second. And if you can satisfy by all the evidence which you have in possession, saying that was not the reason why the marriage broke down first way, now they will ask you that. And if they come out that this is not going to be merely accommodation marriage, you are really genuinely want to marry your wife, and then you want to marry her, then the petition will be approved. There is no question. I have, in many cases, I have advised looking everything into consideration. I advise not to go through the first wife. Never file through yourself, file through your son. I've done many cases where I suspected the marriage was for dissolved only purpose of getting a green card. And in that cases, before they can open your box, Pandora box, and they make more inquiries and you put in trouble, it's better to wait and see whether you can qualify through your son, then all other things won't come into picture. So you have to decide. I don't know all the facts. I don't know how the immigration officer is going to look this case into this case. That the first marriage you divorce your wife. For what was the reason was a divorce? Why didn't you come back here and marry a second wife? Was it the first wife divorced because you wanted to get entry in this country? All these questions will be looked up by the immigration officer.
Right.
So you will be very careful.
So he has to basically have proof for the second marriage more than the first one.
Yeah.
That it was a legitimate marriage and that which he probably has because he got divorced.
6 months, bad habits, she said. But what's the reason for divorce for his first wife? Whom he's got a son. And why he divorced her?
Right.
That must be also bad habit. So you have to, this is the one, somebody is going to judge you. All in immigration, whether it's a same marriage, whether the marriage was dissolved, only purpose of getting a green card in this country. Yeah, but you kept a relation with the first wife or second wife for 6 years, that's a good thing. You got all the papers. First wife you are marrying up to 15 years. It can happen. People are married, there's nothing problem. I have done cases. I have a case where this issue came up and the man gave an explanation. Sir, my son came here and he asked me, why don't you marry your mother? Because at that time my first marriage broke down because I was drunk. I was a drunkard. And my wife broke and I now changed person. So my wife has accepted me. So we had a good relation. We have done these cases.
So in genuine cases, it may work.
It may work.
Alright. Next letter is from Kushal Shah. He says, I am a green card holder residing in USA at the moment. I got married to a British citizen in India. My wife has entered USA under the visa waiver program. After that, I have filed an I-130 for her on March 21st, 2011. I have received the receipt for the same. My inquiry is, what are the possible ways that she can stay in USA without leaving the country? Can she stay here and then apply for the adjustment of status when filing for approval?
You know one thing, this is a very interesting question. Formerly, VU has no problem. We used to do in New Jersey adjustment of status after 10 years because they become a citizen. But the law, there is a decision now coming up from all different circuits saying that the marriage should take place within 6 months of the arrival. Whether the adjustment status should occur within 6 months, I don't know. I'm not very sure about it because that decision is not handy, but you have to look up into this matter very carefully. Whether you are on a green card holder, you are married within, I don't know whether he married within 6 months or not, I don't know, I have no answer. So first let me know whether we married within 6 months or not, and whether you are required to adjust your status within 6 months. Can you do it afterwards, after 6 months? Don't have any idea. I have to revisit that decision and I can give you an advice on that issue. But first let me know whether you marry within 6 months. The law says, because when you come on under the law, there is a guarantee you give that you won't change the status within 6 months. You don't do anything. Now by marrying it, whether she's going to change the status after 6 months, that may be probably, I tell you, that's going to, I think this requires a consultation with an attorney. and I don't know which from place you are calling me, because in New Jersey, this debate was going on for a very long time. There is a decision in New Jersey which was allowing that the people were there. So they came, the lot of application was not adjudicated for a long time, and ultimately they adjudicated them because they married after 6 months. They tried to adjust status after 6 months. So there is a problem, sir. You better consult an attorney, local attorney in your area who is good in immigration, and he knows what has happened, because people don't know when they take an undertaking, when they come here, when by visa waiver program, they sign undertaking not to do anything, not to change your status, not to apply for extension, don't do anything.
Right.
By doing this, when you're going to change the status after 6 months, it's going to be a problem, sir. You look up in this matter very carefully.
Right. So, Kushal, you should definitely sit down with a lawyer in your local area and discuss your particular situation with all the details of how and when you got married and when did your wife come and everything like that.
You know what I want to make it? Not all the attorneys are good. You better be very careful whom you are going to consult, whether he is expertise in this matter and he will know the law of that circuit.
Right.
That's very important.
Yeah, somebody knowledgeable with visa waiver programs as well.
Visa waiver program, effect of marriage and delayed in filing adjustment of status application.
And somebody who's very familiar with the visa waiver program as well.
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick short break. We'll be right back after these messages. A letter with Welcome back. You're watching the Immigration Show on TV Asia. Our next letter is from Karan Shah. He says, I watch the Immigration Show every week with my grandfather, Mr. Dalal's expert advice is very informative, and my father thinks it is one of the best shows on TV Asia. Thank you very much. Thank you for answering my following question. Your advice will be very helpful. My mother, a US citizen, had filed a petition for her two brothers in November 2002. In March 2010, one of the file was approved and the other was declined. USCIS has sent the reason for denial letter to my mother in March 2010 at our old address, since she has not changed the address with USCIS, therefore she did not receive the letter. I spoke with the representative from USCIS yesterday after 1 year when I found about the application denial. My mother did not receive the letter and she told me we will send a request for the concerning office and they will mail you a copy of the letter showing the reason for denial, but you will not be able to appeal the denial and you will have to start the whole process again. Since appeal period is over and also USCIS has not received the return mail from post office, so it is assumed that the letter of denial has been accepted. The question is, since I have not received the letter, therefore was unaware of the denial and could not appeal the decision within 30 days. What can I do to appeal the decision and get the file back on track again? Will my mother's proving that she did not receive the letter help? If yes, how can I prove that I did not receive the denial letter? Will it be advisable to consult a lawyer?
Sure. It's very advisable to consult a good lawyer. We have done many cases on this issue. Generally, how you can overcome this issue? The only way you have not, when you change the address, the duty on everybody is immediately to inform Immigration Department, Homeland Security, where they are processing I-130, that your address has been changed and you file Form AR11. If you don't file AR11, it's not the fault of immigration to send you the address, to send the papers at the old address. We generally overcome this issue by proving that the old address people are living are also related. And if they have received the letter, they would have given to my client. And unfortunately, that we try to get an affidavit from the people who are living at the same address which you were there. Or some cases we were successful in proving that in one case there was a big apartment complex, there were 12 people living, out of which the Patels were living, 6 Patels. and the letters were exchanged by between parties, and the letters were lost. So all these issues are to be brought to the immigration, and you can file a notice of a motion, taking everything into account. And probably there may be a chances of reopening. We were successful in 90% cases on reopening all these cases. But it will depend upon the circumstance each and every case. But the burden is on you. As soon as you change, you have to inform the immigration. And if you don't inform the immigration, you can't blame them because they did not send the address. You did not receive it because it was your fault, because you did not inform the USCIS that your address has been checked by filing a form AR11. So these are the difficult. Now, if you file a new petition, the Brave Brother will take about 10 or 11 years more to come in this country. So you have to consult an attorney, good attorney, who has done these type of cases. We have done about 50 cases on this issue. And out of 50, we managed to get about 42 approved. You know, I am recently getting a lot of complaints that the boy and the girl goes to India, and for some reason or other, they've been forced by the family to marry a girl or a boy. The girl, unfortunately, the girl comes here. Majority of cases I have seen, the girls are from poor family. And even though they have some inkling that this marriage is not going to last, they come here with a great expectation that she will be very happy in the land of honey in America. Now, I have seen cases that the girls are thrown out from the home within 2 months or 3 months, or the boys are thrown out from the home within 2 or 3 months. And when then they generally have a conditional green card for 2 years, and the green card, they have a very, very difficult time to get the permanent green card. The girls who come from a poor family, they don't want to come back to India, and they have a very, very tough time. So in this type of cases, if you have some inclination, any of your relatives who goes to India, and girls are coming from poor family, and if she has some inclination, I'm sure, you know, when our marriages are generally arranged marriages, but you know from the arranged marriages that our marriage is going to last or not. If there is no love shown by the boy, you know that this marriage is not. The boy only stayed for 2 months. How you react? How was he? Was he there? Was he working as if he was forced to marry this one? All these type of cases have to be considered, because there is a biggest problem. The girls are going through a lot of problem, and they don't want to go back. And their whole life is now depend upon how they can get a permanent resident card. So when they get a permanent resident card, they can marry a good boy, they can live in this country, they become clever. So these type of cases are going on every day in my office, and I want to bring to your attention that you should be very careful when you do. And if you think the marriage is shaky, don't advise the boy or girl, wait for 2 years, you can, and then you come here permanent basis, so you don't have to worry about the getting the condition to be removed.
That is very sound advice. Yes. And also, when the girls do come here, be a little smart about it. Make sure you have proper documentation about your marriage, so in case things don't work out, you at least have proof that it was a genuine marriage.
Sure, and if your husband is troubling you and giving you, immediately call the police. That will help you that you are a better spouse.
Right.
And you have been tortured, you have been here. Tell them, be frank.
Right.
I think our girls from India are very timid.
Right.
They don't have a guts to face all this problem. And the husband and who are in this country very overpowerful. They've been here for a long time. They know all the laws.
Well, the value system is also different, where you feel like he'll get better, benefit of the doubt is always given.
After the girls come here, after 2-3 years, they become as smart as any local person.
Absolutely.
But the girls from India, they generally have a disadvantage.
Okay. That's very good advice, but it brings us to an end to our show. Before we end, here's a quick look at the priority dates for May 2011 once again. Here's our address where you can send us your questions and or suggestions for the Immigration Show on TV Asia. Our address is 76 National Road, Edison, New Jersey 08817. Our fax number is 732-650-1112. Our email address is immigration@tvasiausa.com. Please remember we do not respond to any letters by email. Please remember we do not respond to any letters by mail, by email, by fax, or by phone. When writing your question to us, please let us know the city, state, and how you're watching TV Asia. Dish, satellite, or cable. If cable, please let us know the name of the company and the channel number you're watching us on. Please allow at least 4 to 6 weeks for us to respond to your letters. Once again, I am Priya Mishra, and I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today on this Sunday, and thank you, Mr. Dalal.
Welcome.